guys, it's Courtney and welcome to my channel. Today we are trying out a bunch of products from Makeup Revolution. Basically what I've gathered from sort of looking at the brand is that they do a lot of cheaper alternatives, like dupes for higher end products. So if you guys have been a little bit curious about some of these Makeup Revolution products, I'm gonna try some on for you, let you know my thoughts, so keep watching. Alright, so the first thing that I did get was this Makeup Revolution brow pomade, so I'm going to try that out today. By the way, I have already primed my skin with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, so if you see any like white spots, that's essentially what that is. Alright, so when I was actually looking around for different palettes that I wanted to get, there were a few palettes that were like $7 that I thought were pretty interesting, that were definitely dupes of like the Subculture palette, the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. Like I saw a few different dupes in there that I almost was about to get. However, this is the palette that actually caught my eye, the Soph x Makeup Revolution Extra Spice palette. I have already played with this palette a little bit, and in all honesty, I gotta tell you guys, I'm pretty impressed with the quality. As you guys can see, this is a little bit more of a bolder palette. You have like some reds, oranges, greens in there, but you do have your neutrals at the bottom. So this can be an everyday, but it also has your pop of color, which I do love. I think I'm gonna go into this color right here. This color is called Sweet and Sour. I think I'm gonna use this one as my transition. This red color I believe is 21, so I'm gonna go in that color, but still gonna be in that crease, just a little bit lower. I'm gonna clean my brush off a little bit, and then I'm gonna go back into that color Sweet and Sour, just on the edges to make sure we don't lose that color. I'm gonna go into the color right here. This color is like a deep burgundy-ish purpley color, and this color is called Enchanted, so I'm gonna take that and we're gonna go in the outer rim of the eye as well as the inner, and we're gonna kind of connect them just with like the edge of your brush. We're just gonna kind of connect it a little bit in the middle, just like that. Okay, so Makeup Revolution has like these cream based foils that I found, and so they give you like a little primer, and then it comes with like this cream pot. The first time I tried it, I did try it with the primer. It actually ended up doing this funky thing on the eye where it sort of oxidized a little bit at the edges of it, and it didn't really come with instructions on how to use it. So yeah, we're gonna skip the primer part. So we're gonna go like in this middle section that we didn't really put a whole lot of shadow on. And we're just going to pack on this cream base. I'm gonna tap my finger in this color right here. It's like a nice taupe color, and I'm gonna tap that on the middle towards the brim of my eye, like right here, and that's just going to brighten up the look a little bit more. This is their felt tip liner. I have to say I do like the actual felt tip on this one. The only thing is, when I actually did try this out for the first time, it did bleed a little bit, but that could have been my fault, so we're gonna try it out one more time. Guys, so we already zoomed out. The top of my eyes already done, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. This is the Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. The thing about this foundation is the shade range is complete. I'm not gonna say trash, because it does go light to dark, but the shades in the middle are so sporadic. I have the color F13. This does come in 24 shades. Yep, 24 shades, and it is $12. This is the best shade that I had, and just to let you guys know, this is a very deep shade for my complexion. I do believe they are expanding their shade range in this foundation as well as the stick foundation. This is the actual wand for the foundation, and I never know what to do with it. I don't know, I prefer pumps. All right, I'm gonna go in with the Beauty Blender on this side. One thing I did want to say that I forgot about till like literally just this very second, it does dry down super duper fast. So we're gonna move a little faster. We're gonna take my Fenty foundation brush on the other side. So now that same concealer that we used before, we're gonna go in with that one. I got the color C12. And like honestly, the concealer and the foundation sort of coincide as far as the numbers go. So if that gives you any indication of like the shade range, like it literally goes from the 12, which is under my eye, to the 13, which is on my face, to the 14, which I'm gonna contour with. As far as the concealer goes, I don't mind the consistency. I know a lot of people were comparing this to the Shape Tape, is that the one? Which I personally never really tried the Shape Tape. When I went to swatch the Shape Tape in store, one, the color range was like trash to me, but on top of that, it was so thick and it wasn't very creamy. It was just thick and dry to me. So I never really was on the Shape Tape concealer trend. But yeah, this one to me is a lot more creamy. It's still very full coverage, but it's definitely creamy, and I love that about it. The thing with this color is like, it looks like it's yellow, but in actuality, it's more of like a cool tone situation. It's like the colors are just off to me. All right, now we're going in with that banana powder, and I'm gonna tap off as much as I can because I know that this powder like leaves that residue. Like I'm not trying to bake with this at all. As you can see, I'm sort of like dipping in, but I'm tapping off on my hand just to make it more of like a smooth situation, because this powder will leave like those wet and dry oxidation spots if you're not careful. As you can see, it definitely brightened. To me, for a banana powder, one, it's a little bit too stark for my liking, and it doesn't really have like that golden hint that I like to have in my banana powders. This is the Makeup Revolution foundation stick. What is it called? Fast Base Thick Foundation. Like I said, I got the color F14. Now I'm gonna go lightly on my cheek, and we're gonna see how this does, because to me, on my skin tone, this is a little bit too cool tone. I like to do my contour with a little bit of neutral. I like a little bit of cool and a little bit of warm golden in there, whereas something cool tone like this, like strictly cool tone, can come off a little gray, a little muddy. We're gonna start off on the cheek, and we're gonna just work that in nice and neat. All right, do I wanna use it anywhere else? Not really. So I'm gonna go back into this red color, that 21 color. I'm only gonna take it on the outer edge, and then I'm gonna stop there. And then I'm also gonna take it on the inner edge and stop there. So on that same pencil brush, I'm gonna take the color Enchanted, which again is like that purple color. Basically, we're mimicking what we did on the top. Now I'm gonna go back into that sort of, I guess it's like a paint pot. I don't even know what you would call this creamy shadow situation. And put that on the bottom and kind of slide that across in that empty space that we had. Now we're gonna go in with the color Everyday, just like we did on the top. I'm gonna go in with my pinky this time since it's on the bottom lash line. And we're gonna pat that in the middle again. The next thing I'm gonna do is optional, like you really don't have to do this, and if you don't want to, please don't. This is my Kat Von D lip liner in the color X, and I'm going to actually tight line with this. I know a lot of people wouldn't really like this sort of look because it's like red with the red line and it looks kind of weird, but I don't know, I dig it. Another thing that I could not get was a blush. In the blushes that I saw, it was very light. So on my complexion, I just felt like it would be like way too ashy. This is the strobe highlighter. And this is in the color Gold Addict, and you guys already know, like, I love this in this color. To set everything, we're gonna go in with the Pro Fix Illuminating Fixing Spray. It does have like a slight alcohol-y, weird smell to it. I mean, that did make it dewy. Right, so our next product, this is the Retro Luxe Matte Lip Kit. When I first saw this, I was like, if they're not trying to dupe out Kylie's lip kits, like seriously. With the lips and everything, that's so funny. It is now 12:24. Now I did want to mention, as shiny as I look on my forehead, that is not the actual foundation getting oily. That is a mixture of the strobe highlighter as well as the illuminating spray. Let's see something. So this foundation does transfer, however it is in place right now, so that's a good thing. It does feel very lightweight, nothing feels really tight. One thing I'm gonna go ahead and mention now, I am creasing under my eyes. I don't know if you guys can see it. As you can see, I kind of have like that white cast under my eyes, which I no doubt will get flashback. Other than that, I do love how the eyes turned out. The lip is a little sticky, but we're gonna go ahead and keep this makeup on for the rest of the day, and I will come back and let you guys see how it wears. Alright guys, I am back, and this is my face. I kind of already hinted around to it, or maybe I was like blatant about it, but as far as this banana powder goes, this is just not, this is a complete miss, fail for me. It's super bright, it's flashbacky, it's not soft and smooth, it didn't prevent any creasing and all that good stuff. So for those reasons, this is not just a no, but a hell no. Okay, so the next thing that I did not like was the matte lip. As you can see, I'm wearing a different lip. I changed my lip like 3 times today, but yeah, this one didn't last long at all. For one, you guys saw that it was a little bit sticky earlier, and then after I ate it got so much worse and patchy and pilly, and it was just not a good look. The concealer, while I do enjoy the pigmentation, the creaminess, and like literally how full coverage it is, I don't enjoy the fact that it does crease. With this powder, without this powder, this still creases. And it's not a good concealer for me. I believe this concealer is like $7, so I would suggest trying this. Although I don't like it, I would still suggest trying it to see if you guys might like it. Makeup is always so subjective, and I know a ton of people that actually really do like this concealer. The foundation stick, as far as the actual creaminess of it, I love that it's creamy. I think as a contour, this is excellent, but I think if you try to use this as a foundation, I cannot imagine that it won't get oily throughout the day. And I also wanted to mention, it's a bit inconsistent. And what I mean by that is, I tried it today and it worked pretty decent, but I tried it, I believe that was yesterday or the day before that, and it was patchy and it wouldn't blend properly. And so like, I get different applications of this. The brow pomade, I am gonna keep this for a natural brow look. I think that this would actually be a really good, like, as you can see, it's very light. I didn't add any of my layers like I usually do, and I think it did last with the brow mascara. I think it did last fairly well. Another product for me that was just okay, this is the illuminating fixing spray. I think that it's okay. I mean, I don't think it's a bad spray at all. It's not that expensive. It has a pretty decent mister. However, I think what's getting to me is like the smell. It's like a very strong alcohol paint smell, and it just, although it doesn't linger, I will say it doesn't linger on your face or anything, but it is very attacking. I don't think I would actually recommend this. I think if you want something that's like a cream base that you can get the same look with, I would try the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. If I'm not mistaken, they do have a red one that's similar to this color. Now, the other product to me that's a little meh is the foundation. It's not reaching into any of my fine lines. Like right here, you can see it a little bit in my smile lines, but not crazy, so it's not digging into those. Like all of the foundation on my nose is gone. But when I look at it a little bit closer, it's super duper dark right here, and it's almost sinking into my pores to the point where it's making my pores look darker. I think if I were to do a different powder with a different concealer, it might not look as bad, but even with that, looking sort of around the perimeter of my face where I didn't use the concealer or the powder, I'm still not happy with what I'm seeing. Even right here, so if we go a little bit further down in this area right here where the concealer, there was no concealer, I can see my pores. They're like pronounced. So the foundation right here is starting to break apart, which is kind of odd. I've never actually had that. If you can look right here, it's starting to break apart a little bit right here. Most foundations, even if I touch it, it's not gonna completely come off and disappear. That is crazy. I don't even know if y'all can see that. Will it do it? Yep, look at that. My face doesn't feel smooth. We already talked about it. It is very transferable. It's not transfer proof. And am I oily? I am oily, and I am oily. So I don't know, it's just one of those foundations that may work for somebody else, but to me it's like it's just not. So you guys already know how I feel about the highlighter. I did do a video where I did products under $10, and this highlighter is a dupe for the Becca highlighter that I told you guys about. So you guys already know this one is a really good one. It went on pretty smooth and it did last all day, so this one is a must. This highlighter is beautiful. So this palette is absolutely like everything. As you can see, it lasted all day on my eyes. Honestly, for the pigmentation that it has, it doesn't have a ton of fallout. I have a ton of eyeshadow palettes that are super pigmented that have crazy amounts of fallout, and honestly, this is about the amount of fallout that I got. So you're not really wasting any product, essentially. I didn't have any problems with any of these colors that I used being patchy. Like I said, I still have to play with it a little bit. I can't speak for all of the palettes, but this one was 100%. I'm happy I bought it. Alright guys, that about does it for me. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully it was informative, all that good stuff. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you guys in the next video.